if you've got a lot of drama going on in your life and different people pulling on you from different directions, probably people you love, and maybe you're trying to become successful in your small business, you're trying to get it to a better place, you're trying to get your life to a better place, yet maybe your circle of closest people, there's a lot of drama going on. And there could be anything from drug addiction to alcoholism to mental illness to instability to things that take your time and energy and your finances that are pulling you down and just ripping you apart. And yet you're supposed to go on and you're supposed to have your shit together and be diligent and be successful. Yet every 20 seconds you have another interruption, another distraction. That's important because just everybody has different circumstances. So I want to talk about something that's kind of helped me a little bit. And I get angry when I think about all the success books, success literature, all the gurus, all these people on social media. It's like the 6 steps to success without it mentioning the 1,200-pound elephant in the living room or however much an elephant weighs. The elephant is taking a shit in front of everybody and nobody seems to mention it. It's the fact that people got problems. People are struggling. Everything is not going to be okay with some people. And if you have a lot of these things on your plate, how are you supposed to go on and become successful? If somebody's drowning to death, do you just cut the rope to the life preserver and just let them drown? Nope, I gotta be successful. No. How would you feel if you cut everybody else out and then you go on to become really successful, but you're a selfish bastard, okay? If God or the universe, I believe in God, gave you a sound mind and gave you good morals and intellect and you got fingers and toes and you can go out and build a beautiful life, yet maybe somebody that you love only has 3 fingers and toes and they don't have a sound mind or they're struggling. Do you let that person suffer and go by the wayside? Just cut them off. You got to become successful because maybe in the next life you'll turn into a donkey and everybody's going to shit on you. I don't know. But so we think about these karmic type of things, these emotional things that pull us in all these different directions. But one thing I know for sure that I've learned that I want to share with you is this whole idea of masculine, feminine consciousness. So if you have a lot of emotions that trap you during the day, let's just say something happens that emotionally interrupts your pattern and now you're in this emotional state, right? Maybe you got to go to work. Maybe you're at work and you get a phone call that puts you in an emotional state or something going on with your family. It's drama, right? And you have to deal with that right then and there, but then you have to go in and close this sale. You have to make money, you gotta work, you gotta do things, you gotta keep your shit together. But you're going through this emotional drama and then you don't perform the way that you could perform in your career because you're dealing with all this. There's something in this masculine, feminine energy. If you have all this, and I don't mean feminine by woman or masculine by man, I was just talking about energy. If you have all this energy flowing through you and you don't know how to ground that shit. If you don't know how to ground it, let it go, compartmentalize it, put it in a box, close the box, open the box you're working on right now, and work on what's right in front of you, and then get back to that later. You're frickin' screwed. You're not going to be able to get past square 1 or square 2. You won't be able to build a life because it'll be built on a house of emotional cards that any emotional thing can come along and just buckle the pillar and it all falls down again, right? People that can't emotionally get their interior space figured out and their energy grounded, speaking primarily from a masculine point of view. If you are a man who is primarily in his masculine consciousness or you have a masculine core, but you're suffering with a feminized shell, you let people walk on you and push you over. The roles are reversed with maybe your spouse and you're the feminine and she's the masculine. These are touchy topics. I don't have any prejudices or anything like that. But what I'm talking about, if your role is to be the masculine, well, that requires emptiness. It requires, here it comes. It requires stillness and silence. You become the staff in the wind that anything can crash against you. And like Neo in the Matrix, and the bullets, it just falls. When you can do that or be that in that place, so you can get off a dramatic phone call, take a breath, and go in and close that sale. Go in and get this project done. You can read some blueprints. You can divorce yourself from the chaos of the moment and objectify it and put it in a box, put it on a pedestal, and objectify that demon or objectify your demons or objectify the demons. Then they can't run you up. This takes a lot of practice. Breathing exercises, meditation, getting around masculine people and getting a sense of emptiness. The most successful entrepreneurs I know, my friend Eric Reno, he's the perfect example, for lack of a better person. I just say that because I remember we sat down a few years ago with my friend Rob, Coach Rob, and when we all walked away, Rob said something to me about Eric, okay? If you don't know my friend Eric, he's got like a $5 million roofing company. The dude just... And Eric is so completely in his masculine consciousness. We're working on a project together, and I'm with him on Monday mornings right now. And I noticed he had a couple phone calls coming and some shit going on that would have freaked me out for like half a day. And he got off the phone, like of something that gave me anxiety. He gets off the phone, takes a breath, and in the next minute, he's just driving and he's fine. I was like, do you realize what you just did, bro? It's called changing channels cleanly. Changing channels cleanly. If this moment you're on this radio station and it's all chaos, when you change the channel and you're in the next environment, you're on the phone call with the customer. You are communicating with your woman, your spouse, whatever it may be. If you can change the channel cleanly and you're not stuck in between all the time, because there are literally people, and maybe you watching this right now, if you have all this loose energy running through your body, you could be on all like 30 channels at once and having a meltdown. Like that could be like schizophrenia. It could drive you into being unstable, okay? Because you don't know how to deal with all the pressures of life and all the things that are required and demanded of you. And to he, much is given, much is required. So if you want to have more things in your life, you got to take on more responsibility. And swallowing the hard, bitter pill of responsibility, you got to deal with all the shit that comes along with the things that you say that you want. And if you say you want these things and I could beat a dead horse about that all day, but if you don't take on any responsibility and you don't sort this shit out and learn how to get in control of yourself, despite the chaos of other people, even the people closest to you, if you can't fucking control yourself, stay calm in the face of chaos. One thing specifically, if you're married, right, if you're a woman, will always test her man. She's testing you. She'll crash things against you, her energy. She'll throw all her feminine energy at you to get you off balance because she's testing your masculine integrity. Just like your business, things will crash against your business to test the integrity of the structure of your business or how much consciousness you put into that. And if you can have your woman crash a bunch of things against you, and you can stay very present and calm with her, and she can feel that you're feeling her, not that you're checking out emotionally and just putting up a brick wall with your eyes glazed over. It might be very painful in the moment because you're wearing her anger like a coat and you don't let go until she can feel you ain't going nowhere, right? You're not going to go run away. You're not going to do whatever crazy shit. You are her rock, right? And it might take 10, 20, 30, 100 explosions. It might be micro explosions and macro explosions until infinity, until the day you die. But the masculine is the energy that contains the universe. No matter how many quasars and pulsars and exploding universes, that the universe can contain that. It's the container until infinity. So when you are like that, like a rock, her trust will grow, right?
More of the Untrapped podcast right after this.
Jill's office provides friendly, professional receptionists for small business owners just like you. We can help answer your calls, and we can even schedule estimates and jobs for you. Try Jill's office today and get a $25 discount when you say Untrapped. Just go to jillsoffice.com.
The Untrapped podcast continues.
Now, same with your business. If challenges come and they crash against you and crash against your business, boom. If you start freaking out and you can't handle anything, and you're not getting back to customers and you don't even have time to cash checks and you start having a breakdown, like granted, if you work like 80, 90 days in a row, you're probably going to have a breakdown. But if you can't even keep your shit together 5-6 days a week, running a business is very hard. It takes a lot of working that muscle to do that. And I don't know shit about running a big business, right? But all I'm saying is that we kind of look up to some of these entrepreneurs. Like here's a guy, Tigran Gertz, if you ever watch his channel. Well, we look at him. He's a guy in his late 20s. And you say, this guy's running a multi-million-dollar landscaping company and all this equipment and all these guys working. How does he do that? And I think the deeper question is, How has that man developed his consciousness to the point where he can withstand that amount of pull the trigger on, make the decisions to make these things happen, right? And it's almost like you can look at it from a perspective of he's literally got a key and there's a bunch of wild bulls in cages and he's unlocking the cages and letting the bulls run and then can contain that type of explosion, right? That's very admirable to whatever somebody, just as an example. So when you see people that are doing specific things that we look at, like, how does that man, how is he so present and loving with his family, yet he can run a business, yet he's got his shit together? Oh wow, he's in shape. I'm just like being idyllic, which probably isn't too healthy. But if we look at the qualities and aspirations of things in life from a level that something we admire, we strive to be like, if those things just don't happen by osmosis, I think there's a lot of interior work that has to get done that happens behind the scenes, and a lot of an intention, pain, suffering, motivations, breakdowns, discouragement, fears that go into play to carve that thing into a beautiful masterpiece, to turn coal into a diamond by pressure, right? You will become polished under the pressures that are in your life right now. If you're under a lot of pressure and you're a lot of bullshit, you're becoming polished. This is good. The universe is set up to help you. God loves you. He's here to help you, right? And because of the people and the men and women that have died serving our country for our freedom to even be here right now, well, you can get angry, which is okay. Sometimes it's good to not suppress your emotions. Get angry and bang your fist down. Whatever you have to do, it's not bad or wrong. To stimulate yourself to finally get into a place of gratitude where you say, you know what, this is a big opportunity. I could pick up the phone for that person who drives me insane and say, you know what, enough. Your lack of planning is not my emergency. I love you. You're not going to pawn your responsibilities off on me. I got a family to take care of. Okay. This is real, right? I'm trying to save up to do this. You know what all your things are. If you can develop those healthy boundaries over time, and it'll hurt in the beginning, draw lines in the sand. Don't tolerate certain things from yourself. If you start to act like a crybaby and a victim and you go into this cycle, how can we become aware of that? Because awareness is the key where we can finally grow up and get our shit together. And like Tony Robbins said, the highest level of evolution is contribution. I'm really, really impressed by, I know I say his name a lot, but a guy like a Joshua Latimer. Here's a guy who's got like 5 kids and 1 or 2 businesses going on. He's got a lot of shit going on, dude. And this man fires up his phone on social media and starts encouraging other people. You got this, man. You can do this. You can do this. And I was on the phone with him like a week ago. I was like, how do you do that? He goes, I love encouraging other people, Kalfas. I'm like, but how do you get yourself to the state of consciousness when you got all your own bullshit, your own inner dialogue going on? And I think that's a level of evolution where your intention, you have clarity around your life's purpose. When you get clarity around your life's purpose, it gets a little bit easier to cut all the fat and sort out all the bullshit. Nope. That doesn't have anything to do with you and me right now. It doesn't have anything to do with this box. The clearer you can get with that and the more you can stand your ground is the more people will start to respect you. Is the more you'll respect yourself, your self-esteem goes up. And you know what's funny? Your bank account goes up too. Because this is serious shit, dude. Serious shit. I saw this video with Grant Cardone. It was pretty intense. It's one of his most famous videos in front of his sales team. He's on a whiteboard talking about like, you got to have X amount millions of dollars because if these bad things happen to you or your family, which in the mathematical probability, they eventually will, you better have your shit together now. Because otherwise, and think about it like this. If you're able to go out and work and make money every day, it's terrifying to be in a position where now you're the person begging for a handout. You're the person who can't take care of themselves. You're the person crying to God and so thankful because somebody's helping you. This is real shit. This is dead fucking serious. We need to get our shit together. You need to get your shit together. I need to get my shit together. There you are. Sorry. I'm like, we gotta get our shit together. And I think the penalty of leadership is when you feel like, what fired me up to make this video is I saw like this vision in my head of a man with like a table or like a platform on his shoulders, dripping in sweat, shaking. And on top of him was like, you got the world on your shoulders. On top of him was this like idyllic image of like people basking and eating grapes and the sun shining on them, and just like, I should draw this on a piece of paper. I saw it so clearly. And I saw like people just like, filing their nails and in drama and arguing and complaining. But underneath it all, almost like Jesus or something, right, was a dude with all this weight on his shoulders, and he's the one holding all that up, right? And he was a very muscular, like King Leonidas type of man. And people are completely unaware. Just like when we're growing up and all the shit you probably put your parents through or people through, because of the power of grace and love and forgiveness, you were able to make it through. And I think that just like you got to put the oxygen mask on yourself first in the plane, you can't take care of other people until you can take care of yourself. So it's high time we really get our shit together and get damn serious about taking care of ourselves, so then that we can be fortunate enough so that we can have the opportunity to actually take care of other people. But if people are pulling you down and trying to hold you down, and you're not even at a point where you can take care of yourself yet. In the book, The 48 Laws of Power, Robert Greene talks about this. He says, avoid drama and dramatic people. Rule number 32. Avoid drama and dramatic people. Because you think you're trying to help these people. I'm just reading from the book. I'm not saying I necessarily agree with this, but they'll pull you down and drown you to death with them. Okay? So you better be able to make sure you got enough to feed yourself and your family. I may be wrong with everything I'm saying, I know that my mother would take the coat off her back and give it to a homeless people. We had a lot of random people in our house growing up, and luckily everything was safe to all my knowledge. But we just had sometimes like random people sleeping on our couches, and I'd come home and I was confused, and they needed a place to stay, and my mom would feed them. She was such a giving person that she gave and gave and gave until there was nothing, there was no food in the fridge for us, right? Her heart was so good that she would let people walk all over and bless her soul, Anyways, that's the end of this video. 20 minutes, my friend. This is the deep shit I've always wanted to talk about, and now I'm talking about it. Love you guys. Peace out. Hey, I hope you liked the show. And if you like the Untrapped podcast and you get value from it, can you please take a minute and go over to Spotify and leave it a well-worded positive 5-star review. It helps boost the rankings on Spotify so the show can get to more people. Therefore, these messages can get out to more people and inspire more people so then they can go out and start their small businesses and crush it and get to the next level. It's a huge deal. All right, I'll see you in the next show.